Whoops, clicked on the wrong scene there. Hello everyone, and thank you for coming. We're back tonight with more Dragonfall. I've had a crazy busy day. Congrats, Ray Gaming, on getting first, and welcome, Kappa and Ray. Glad to have you here. You've certainly accumulated quite a lot of points there, Ray. I'm curious what you're going to do with them. But yeah, today has been crazy busy. I had to go and get my eye exam, and then get some new glasses because my current ones are degenerating. The rubberized earpieces are starting to fall apart, which I'm very disappointed in because these were definitely not cheap glasses. But it is what it is, so I got some new glasses on order, so I should have those in the next week or two, which will be nice. Also, just picked up a grocery that I required, and some new shoes. Since my current pair, I've been wearing into the ground since I think like 2012 or 2014, so I was very much due for a new pair. I've actually gone down a whole shoe size, which is nice. I guess my feet have gotten smaller as well with my the whole weight loss thing that I've been doing. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, so it's been a very tiring day. My body feels quite stiff after all that, but here we are, and it is time to jump in and see what the bad news from Paul is after we check that DVD. Because if I don't do that, then I'm gonna just forget about it, like I already almost did twice. So let's continue and see what we got in store here. Okay. Hope that you guys all had a... Oh, hey, Red. Thanks for coming. Hope that you guys all had a nice weekend. Mine was pretty quiet, actually. I had a burger yesterday for the first time in like a year, so that was nice. Time to run the shadows. What we missed so far? I'm not sure I can really go over everything that we've done over the past few weeks, mostly because I don't entirely remember. But we haven't actually done anything in this stream yet. If you want to go back through the VODs, they should all be on my Twitch. I have about 2 months of VODs there since I have the extended VOD time. So you can definitely check those out if you would like to. But yes, we are still doing jobs to make money for Alice. I think we're at like 40K now. I think we checked the computer last time, so there won't be any new messages or anything. But yeah, no, my D&D session ended up not happening either because one of our party was feeling ill, and another was having technical issues. So it happens. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Oh, your DM was camping. Okay, well, I hope they had a good time. That also happens. Life does have a way of getting in the way sometimes. But yeah, we're at 40,000 of the 50,000 right now, so we only have to do one more job. 3 of your players all live in the same house. Oh, well, I guess that makes it easy to bug them if they're not showing up on time. Alright, is it gonna let us watch the DVD? Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, indeed. Okay, let's load the last DVD. Alright, the scratched LCD display comes to life and a menu fills the screen. The DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill whining sound. Green Winter's face appears on the screen. The timestamp is 2050-428. This is it, the interview. Took some digging to find it, but here he is, my big brother, back in his prime. The note disappears, and for a moment, the screen goes blank. Suddenly, image, I think there's a missing word or letter there. I think it's maybe, an image of a news correspondent flashes onto the screen, accompanied by a brief orchestral flourish. A timestamp in the upper right corner of the screen reveals the date, August 22nd, 2012. That was a while ago. Thank you for joining us. We are coming to you live from the ruins of Sangerhausen, the 5th Hearts mountain town to be sacked by the Dragon Firstwind. Standing by my side is the head of Deal Defense, Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Dr. Vauclair has been hailed as a leader in the effort to bring down Firstwind and end her reign of terror. Dr. Vauclair, tell us about your efforts to bring down the dragon. Killing the monster has proven difficult, to say the least. Her speed and maneuverability in the air are extraordinary. Her scales repel small arms fire, and her breath can melt steel. Our R&D team have been working around the clock to devise a weapon capable of downing the beast. In the interim, we are providing material support for the Luftwaffe's attempts to shoot her down via conventional means. Herr Vauclair, why are you directing Deal Defense's energies to the killing of Firstwind? Are there corporate interests at play in this? Corporate interests? No. This is a matter of human interest. Innocent lives are being extinguished at an appalling rate. I'm in a position to help put an end to the slaughter, and so I must. It really is that simple. Dr. Vauclair, you must understand my skepticism. Our viewers aren't looking for a PR statement, they come to us for the truth. I'm afraid that I don't have time to go back and forth on this. Your viewers can think whatever they wish. My concern is in helping the people affected by this tragedy. Corporate interests, yeah. I can definitely understand her skepticism. The corporations definitely benefit by not having a giant dragon killing everyone. I think that's probably bad for business just in general. In that case, Dr. Vauclair, I thank you for sharing your valuable time with us. You're very welcome. To the viewers at home, stay safe and watch the skies. Salvation is coming, I promise. Oh, excuse me. Again, that was Dr. Adrian Vauclair, CEO of Deal Defense. Dr. Vauclair is the chief architect of the military's current plan to bring down the Dragon Firstwind. Stay tuned for more late-breaking news on the Battle of the Harz Mountains. We'll be right back. With that, the video comes to an end. You find yourself dumped back to the menu screen. Alright, track 2. The display goes blank for a moment, then the face of Green Winters winks onto the screen. There's a look of astonishment on his face. The timestamp reads 2054-1117. Oh, this is 4 years later. Holy shit. I just stumbled onto some of Adrian's old lab notes. I'm not going to say how I came across these. Someone might get hurt if the wrong people watch this. But I've checked them against some of Adrian's old handwriting samples, and they're legitimate. Holy shit. This is big. Alright. Okay. Back up. Slow down. Breathe. He takes a moment to calm himself. Okay, so these notes. They pretty much confirm something that I'd always suspected. The Luftwaffe didn't shoot down Firstwind. I mean, they tried. They pumped thousands of rounds into the air around her, and they lobbed rockets at her for months. Lost a lot of attack helicopters and fighter craft in the process. But none of those things were responsible for taking her down. The Dragonfall was caused by an experimental warhead, one that Adrian and his Deal Defense think tank designed. I don't understand the science of it, not even a little bit. But from what I can piece together, it looks like they designed some sort of chemical radiological agent that acts on the metagene. I don't think that they fully understood what they were doing. It was 2012 after all. I mean, the process worked, but I don't know if they understood why it worked. Anyway, when a warhead full of this stuff comes into contact with a dual-natured creature, like a dragon, say, it drives a wedge between that creature's physical and astral forms. The body gets put into a sort of hibernation state, and the spirit is forced out. It also looks like this process can maintain that state of separation indefinitely, and that's a pretty horrifying thought. A discorporated body is supposed to die in a few hours. I've heard horror stories about ghost-walking mages getting trapped in astral space, unable to rejoin with their meat. I heard they went crazy from the pain. If what I'm reading is accurate, it's entirely possible that Firstwind has been trapped outside of her body for over 40 years. Winters pushes his chair back and slaps the table in front of him. This is why Adrian was always so cagey about the subject of Firstwind after the Dragonfall. He knew for a fact that she was alive, even if only technically. Her body crashed down into the socks, sure, but she wasn't dead. The government wouldn't let Adrian tell the public about any of this, of course. It'd interfere with the lie that they were feeding us, that the Firewing was dead and that everyone was safe, and that people should stop hiding in their basements and get back to work again. but privately, he always said that she was still out there, somewhere deep in the socks. I'd always thought that he was paranoid, but I was wrong. He knew. So, what does all this mean? It means that the stories I got from the ghost rat suddenly sound a lot more plausible. It means that First Wind is definitely alive, and that Adrian's disappearance is unquestionably tied to her survival. It also means that Germany is in deep shit. Because if First Wind is still alive, it's only a matter of time before she rears her ugly head again. Okay, that's enough for one night. I'm gonna go get drunk. The screen abruptly goes black and your video cuts off. A few moments later, you find yourself returned to the menu. Alright, number 3. The DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill whining sound. Green Winter's face appears on the screen. He looks younger than you've ever seen him, but from the way he's carrying himself, he's clearly drunk. Timestamp on the video reads 2033, 5:15, so this is an older one. Oh yeah, he definitely looks younger there. Look, Adrian, I understand you. Lord knows I do. But you've got to drop this dragon fixation. People are starting to talk. There's a camera cut, and you find yourself looking at a young, handsome Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Oh, excuse me. He wears a slight smile on his face. Oh, they're talking, are they? What a terrible shame. Damn it, Adrian, this is serious. You're a public figure. You could lose everything if you don't keep these ridiculous fairy tales to yourself. Hermie, my theories are not, as you call them, fairy tales. Dragons are real. I saved Germany from one. Have you forgotten? No, of course not. Everyone knows that you killed the Firewing. Stopped, not killed. Fine, stopped, whatever. Winters swipes a bottle off the table in front of him, drains it, and drops it to the floor. Call it whatever you want, but Adrian, you're the only one who's still this obsessed with the damn things. There aren't that many of them, and they're not taking over the world. Well, that's arguable. Vauclair's voice is quiet, soft. Such is the cry of the cancer patient, unaware of what's killing him. I'm fine, not to worry. I'll smoke another cigarette, what's the harm? He doesn't see what's happening, but he winds up dead all the same. Winters snorts. Now you're just being maudlin. Look, Adrian. Vauclair shakes his head. His smile has disappeared. You mark my words, Hermie. Within 5 years, corporations, even countries, will fall to these creatures. And the worst part is, nobody will care. Only a fool doesn't think the dragons are taking over the world. Yeah, no, like, they're literally dragons. I don't need to know much about Shadowrun to know that dragons kind of just do that. Oh, people will tut-tut about it. There may be a protest or two, but nobody will actually do anything to stop them. The immortal, all-powerful, utterly pitiless reptiles will seize more and more of our power, wealth, and territory. And we, foolish, short-sighted mortals, will never get it back. BMW, like the car manufacturer? I don't think that's really a huge deal, like that's one company, but... Green Winters chuckles uncomfortably, raises his hands in the air in a supplicating gesture. Come now, Vauclair talks over his brother's interruption. We could solve the problem, of course, but we, as a species, are unwilling to invest our energy into problems that aren't staring us right in the face. As it was with climate change, so it is with dragons. I've accepted that. You can't ask me to stop caring about it. BMW became a megacorp with a bunch of hard industry, the Satyr Group. Okay, yeah, all of my knowledge of Shadowrun comes from Shadowrun Returns and this game. I am not super involved in the Shadowrun lore, so I don't know all of the secret deets. Winters shakes his head. You're hopeless, Adrian. Fine, by all means, keep caring. Just keep your conspiracy theories to yourself. I'm telling you this for your own sake. Vauclair sighs. He looks incredibly tired. Yes, Hermie, you're right, of course. I mustn't jeopardize my credibility with the masses. Winter's expression turns serious. His voice lowers. It's not just your credibility that I'm worried about. Talk is talk, but sometimes... He pauses, shakes his head. Sometimes I worry that you're really gonna go back to the socks. Vauclair's tone softens again. Hermie, Winters cuts his brother off. A new intensity burns in his voice. Please, big brother, just drop all of this. Stop hunting the Fire Wing and start living your life again. If you won't do it for yourself, then for Christ's sake, do it for me. For a quick thing, every single German manufacturing group combined into one business, then some more for good measure. Wow. I guess there are no anti-monopoly laws anymore. Vauclair nods, then looks away from the screen. Alright, Hermie. I'll try. The image cuts to static, and you find yourself back in the menu. Alright, one more track. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grinds in its tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. Meet and Mate Singles Dating Profile. User Jolly Green Winters. Last active 1/15/54. Male, human, Caucasian, muscular. X to doubt. Age 50. Looking for female. I don't know what HED stands for. Athletic 25 wait, you're a 50-year-old guy looking like that, looking for an athletic 25 to 30-year-old? My dude. They say to shoot for the stars, but, okay. I'm a fun-loving guy who's also a great listener. I love hiking, clubbing, and all kinds of pets. I'm looking for a cute, funny, adventurous girl who's down to party. I don't respond to profiles without pics. No orcs, no trolls. Sorry, ladies. The disc rattles again, and you find yourself sitting at the menu. Wow, that was impeccably timed. Alright. Alright, so that's that. Hey, we got an achievement for watching all the decrypted DVDs. Loftweir used some of his own personal dragon hoard to buy up to 51% of the company and do a hostile takeover. He then forced and coerced his way to purchase the remaining 49%. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, Paul, what's the bad news? Did we wait too long? I didn't think there were any time restrictions on things here. As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Amsel shifts his attention to you. You can see the worry on his face. Cassie, I have new information. I'm afraid that the news isn't good. So you said over the comm. Go on, we're listening. Oh, are we just getting news on what this thing is? Glory... I'm not sure where Glory is. She's probably just off screen. Oh, is this... No, that's not a foot circle. I'm not sure where Glory is, but I'm sure she's around. 2 years ago, a large shipment of a highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapons were designated X-15. I have traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to the Harfeld Manor. Well, that sounds horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before. Back in the service, we called it Doom. I've never run across it in the wild, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The triple megacorps are around the power of a major global nation, as in, could take the current United States in a head-on war, economic or direct. That, definitely sounds problematic for multiple reasons. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer's display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. What does this stuff do exactly? Amsel clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on his screen. Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Yikes. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth-212 isotope. When introduced into a host, these antibodies bind to surface-level muscle tissue. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. This process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. So it basically turns you into liquid. Jesus. Iger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on the stuff. If that doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but what would a dragon want with this Drek? Nothing good. See, Glory's around, she's just out of frame. That much goes without saying. This development worries me. Cassie, it worries me greatly. Okay, so the dragon has a bioweapon. Alright, good to know, but that doesn't change what we need to do. Now, if this dragon is stockpiling bioweapons, we got an even bigger problem than we thought on our hands. Or, I'm looking at the big picture here and I don't like what I see. Now, yeah, the second one. If the dragon's stockpiling bioweapons, we've got an even bigger problem than we thought on our hands. There's a moment of silence, then Dietrich speaks up. Well, in my book, this doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if the Firewing's allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be. But we're gonna stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is that she's after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amsel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. And that means you must continue working toward raising Alice's fee. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, Cassie. When you've acquired the necessary funds and are ready to head back out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we will discuss our next steps. Iger nods. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backward glance at Glory. If any of this has had any impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory, let's go. Now, you never got back to me about Frau Mueller. How did the meeting go? Oh, good, so we were able to follow up on this anyways. Okay. I accepted the job. Any idea on how to tackle this? Oh, yeah, and there we go. We completed our objective there. The UN, however, has access to weapons the megacorps are not allowed to have. Did you see the crappy GOT TV show Blitz was laughing about with all the drones in the mission? I don't think so. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, a few. Frau Mueller has provided us with detailed information on the facility. I vetted the information and it seems to hold up. Based on this intel, I have formulated what I believe will be an effective strategy to bring down the building. I don't think I ever got that mission. Or it's maybe in a different game. Because, I never got a mission like that. According to Mueller's intel, the facility is extraordinarily well guarded. Whatever this bloodline project is, the Azzies have spared no expense to defend it. Yeah, I still haven't done it, Red Sky, so... The facility is patrolled by Az Technology's internal security personnel. On their own, they would pose a challenge, but I don't doubt that you could brute force your way through them. Unfortunately, they will not be on their own. Az Technology has purchased one of Knight Errant's more expensive security contracts as an additional line of defense. So kicking in the front door is out then. Amsel nods. I should say so. I pulled some strings with an old contact of mine, and he's provided me with the address of a small software developer, OTK International. They write the firmware updates for Knight Errant's comm systems, and their defenses should be considerably weaker than Az Technology's. My contact has informed me that OTK stores an off-site hard copy of every firmware update it develops for data security purposes. My suggestion is this. You hit the offices of OTK International and reduce their computers to slag. In the interim, I will have the hard copy of their next update replaced with a compromised version. When OTK's next update goes live, our compromised version will be pushed out to Knight Errant. When you hit the Az Technology facility, I'll be able to track Knight Errant via their comlinks. This should make the run much more manageable. He fishes in his pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a corporate ID with your face on it. Ooh, convenient. This will get you through the front door of the office park that contains OTK International. My contact was only able to provide me with the one card, so you'll need to let the rest of your team in through a side door. Alright, sounds like a plan. Very good. OTK's offices aren't far from here. You should take the U-Bahn there when you're ready. Okay. Oh, are we... Okay, everyone's going back to their respective spots, so then I can start talking to everyone. Alright, what you need, boss? Let's see. Back when we took on Humanus, you said that you fought in the Night of Rage. I'd like to hear more about that. He nods, then fishes in his jacket pocket for his flask. Alright, boss. We can talk about it. So I already mentioned that Berlin's punks and anarchists joined forces to fight off the racists, right? And after a long, bloody fight, we beat them. What I didn't mention is how I figured into all this. I'm an anarchist at heart. Always have been. But at the time, I fit squarely into the punk camp. I was 32 at the time. Messer Camp was still touring. Not as much as we did when we were kids, but we had a following. I guess I was sort of an elder statesman for the scene. When we rallied to fight the racists, my followers came along for the ride. Bunch of young kids, all full of piss and vinegar and the immortality of youth. I was full of that good old Dragon Slayer spirit, pissed off and itching for a fight. And so I let those kids into the fray. They waded into the riot right alongside me, yelling and screaming with their fists in the air. I don't remember a whole lot of the fight itself, boss, but I do remember the aftermath. A lot of the kids that followed me had grown up listening to my music. They had all of my attitude, Cassie, but none of them had my magic. And youthful enthusiasm is no defense against a knife or a handgun. I left the punk scene for all the reasons I told you, boss, but there was a bigger reason, and I saw it in those kids' broken bodies. This road that I'm on, it leads to the grave. I've got the power to make it a leisurely trip, but make no mistake, that is where I'm headed. Those kids tried to follow in my footsteps, and they wound up sprinting ahead of me instead. Better for me to stay out of the public eye and stick to the shadows. My stint as a role model was ill-advised. I don't remember what I said earlier, but we'll ask if he's put any thought into it. Yeah, but... Oh, right, about going after a less dangerous enemy. Yeah, boss, I have. It's an interesting idea, but there are risks. I'm thinking that this might not be the best of times to approach him about it. He's the source of my magic, remember. If our discussion turns into an argument, he could take all of that magic back in a heartbeat. And then where would we be? Bleh. Okay, from what you've told me about the Dragon Slayer, I don't think he'd like the way you're talking. Since when has he ever encouraged you to back down from a fight? I can't justify the risk of you losing your magic, not right now. No, we gotta push forward with this. You've got a point there, boss. He wouldn't want me to back down, ever. Not even from him. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'll ask the Dragon Slayer about shifting priorities, I guess you'd say. Taking on some deserving organization and calling off the hunt for something more impressive than the Firewing. Of course, a fight like that would never really end. I'm never gonna bring down a corp or a polyclub all of my lonesome. He shrugs. But maybe that's not a bad thing. He'd take a lot of the guesswork out of life. I don't know, boss. If you have any thoughts about this, I'd love to hear them. Let's see, you've already done some damage to Humanus. What about them? Could they be your new white whale after we're done with all this? Okay. If you want a big bad, how about Seder Krupp? They're the biggest corporation in the world, and they're led by an honest-to-God dragon. That's not a bad one. Why tie yourself to a specific group? I say keep it fluid. Stop anyone that threatens the flux. Isn't that what Berlin's about? I don't think that one will fly. But yeah, Seder Krupp seems solid. Well, that's certainly thinking big. Give me a second, I'll ask. He closes his eyes and concentrates. Minutes pass. Slowly, a smile creeps across his face. Dietrich opens his eyes and turns to face you. Yeah, I think that he'd like this plan just fine. That was it? That's all it took? The Dragon Slayer doesn't mince words, boss. If he didn't like the plan, he'd have told me. Dietrich's grin widens. He looks more at ease than you've ever seen him. Well, boss, I've got myself a plan, and a new target to boot. That's assuming, of course, that any of us make it through our current predicament alive. You know, Dietrich, now that you've got a handle on your connection with the Dragon Slayer, you could probably reach out to your old community again. Berlin's punks could benefit from your experience. Yeah, maybe. He nods. Yeah, boss, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe I could give back a bit, and fix some of the damage I caused in my misspent youth. After we're finished dealing with the crisis in front of us, that is. It's a good thought, anyway. I'll keep it in mind. Any updates on Alex? Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. It's gonna take some time. Any thoughts about the last run? Hell of a thing, wasn't it? That run made me glad that I don't have to spend a lot of time in hospitals, I'll tell you that much. There wasn't a single aspect of that building that didn't make me feel uneasy. He pauses for a moment, then looks you in the eye. Kind of a pity putting that rigger on ice like that. Least we could have done was hurt him out. I get that the job is the job and all, but if our client really did screw him over, he deserved better than to get buried for it. Yeah, but we would have gotten super fucked over if we didn't. He shrugs. I guess we'll never know. Okay, so that's all of the Dietrich talk. Let's see. No one else is out here. So I guess Eager is next. And then Glory. And then we'll talk to Blitz on the way out. Iger glances up from her PDA at the sound of your approach. Cassie, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried, and in a big way. Talk to me, Eager. If something's put you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so that you can look at the screen. This. The image that greets you is a holopic of a rail-thin orc with jet-black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in his field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of the opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs. All the groundwork that a syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, Cassie. And my contact spotted him in Shatnest. That's a little too close to the cruise bazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town that he was softening up after the syndicate moved in. Cassie, I have to stop him before it's too late. What happened to that town, it can't be allowed to happen again in Shatnest. Yeah, no, why not is obvious, because if it happens there, then it's gonna creep outward towards us. Agreed. Do you know who he's working for now? The safest bet would be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Got any examples? Well, I know for a fact that he's working for mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put in a lot of time with the Lobachevsky syndicate. He's taken contracts with the Triads as well. My contacts tell me that he's even done a few jobs for Timanis. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PDA for a long moment. So, long story short, I'm gonna have to step out for a mission or two. No, you're not. I know how important it is that we resolve the first wind situation. I get it, but I can't just sit back and let this happen. She shakes her head. I won't. Yeah, no, if we're going with her for this. If the cruise bazaar is at risk, this is too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you. End of story. Alright, fearless leader. You're right, I could use the help. But the others, they can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job. 2 people max. Okay, so this is Iger's unique story. For Blitz, we had the one where we had to go in and clear his debt. For Iger, we're getting this. And I guess for Dietrich, we had the Humanist job. This is going to have to be a quiet job, 2 people max. You sure you're prepared for this? If you can't hold up your end, I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Der Weinkeller. I've got a contact who's going to join us there, and he can help us figure out our next step. Alright, we've got a new job with Iger now. Let's see if we can get more info with Glory. Glory's pallid face lights up at your approach. A genuine smile spreads across her lips. Cassie, good to see you. Yes, I figured as much. I assume that all of the loyalty missions are the ones where you do it alone with the person. You too, Glory. How are things with you? She pauses for a moment, considering. You know what? I'm happy, actually. For the first time in a long time. I have you to thank for that. Are you ready to tell me about the chrome you're sporting? Be patient, Cassie. The explanation for that is coming. A look of unease flits across her face. I'm not sure that you're going to like it, though. Alright, are you ready to talk about first day yet? Yeah. Glory looks troubled, more so than you've ever seen her before. Whatever memories she's dredging up must be exceedingly painful. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been looking forward to this, but yeah, it's time. Cassie, look, I'm about to tell you some things about myself that might change your opinion of me. It's entirely possible that you're going to hate me based on what's coming up next. I've accepted that, and if that's what happens, I sincerely believe that I deserve it. She looks you in the eye, her expression grim. So tell me, are you sure that you want to keep pushing forward with this? Yeah. This is important for you, Glory. After everything we've been through, I think we both know that. Whatever you have to tell me, I'm ready to listen. Thanks, Cassie. Thanks for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. So when we left off last time, I had just moved from the streets of Tübingen to the warm, inviting confines of Firstel. Marta and I were happy there for a little while, and Harrow embraced me as a long-lost daughter. I should probably take a moment to talk more about Harrow. He's going to be an important figure in this story. I don't know what his age was. He seemed old enough to be paternal, but young enough to hang with the kids or on something like a peer level. Best guess, I'd say he was in his mid-20s. He was handsome and well-built, with a neatly trimmed beard and thick brown hair, and there was something else about him, something uncanny. Harrow had this charisma, this raw magnetic attraction that just made people latch onto him. I saw it over and over. All it took was a few words and a pat on the shoulder, and Harrow would have a new convert. The other kids at the farm followed him around like lost puppies. As much as I loved Marta, and as much as I thought she loved me, we forgot all about one another when Harrow was around. All that we wanted was to be close to him, to be a part of his inner circle, and soon enough, we were. Okay, what kind of fucked up magic does this guy have? For a girl of 17, it was all terribly exciting. Harrow had these rules of living that he would teach us, rules about self-determination and the importance of disobedience. He claimed to have taught classes at the University of Berlin, which he painted as a mix between an earthly paradise and an anarchist playground. He told us how Firstel would be the focal point of a new movement for the children of the fatherland. He told us that we were special. We ate it up, of course. We were kids. For those of us in the inner sanctum, Harrow would share even more. He had power the likes of which I had never seen. Not my father's drunken fists or my own childish experiments, but genuine, incredible power. He said that it came from the Horned God, an ancient deity that he venerated. He knew about my latent abilities right away, and he offered to teach me. Naturally, I accepted. Okay, I actually have not heard of the Horned God, but we're gonna say that we did anyways. His followers have a poor reputation, especially among women. Any bad reputation that they might have gained is well-deserved, but there was more to it than that, as you'll see. Glory sighs. Hang with me, Cassie. Rough waters ahead. I need a drink. Alright. So, I became Harrow's apprentice. He taught me to channel magic and summon spirits. He taught me rituals and pagan traditions, Machiavellian philosophy, and Netskian ethics. Above all, he taught me to connect with his horned god, and through it I learned power and arrogance, and it was all downhill from there. For the next few years, I lived at Firstel as Harrow's enforcer and right-hand girl. I was also his sometimes wife and concubine, but that was a distinction that I shared with all of the girls in the commune, including my beloved Marta. I came to learn that she'd been his long before she met me, but by that point, I didn't care. I'd embraced the rules of living. I was Harrow's creature through and through. I didn't ask questions, and I walked the path that was in front of me. Other fun facts about those years: I learned cruelty. I had power now, and my new idol encouraged me to use it. Harrow did the same. Any children who didn't pull their weight were subjected to my tender mercies, and I was anything but tender. I took what I wanted rather than asking for it. I liked it. It was fun. I also came to learn that Harrow's horned god was not the Eichenfürst worshipped by throwback cults across Germany. It was certainly a god with horns, but it came from an altogether different tradition. Care to hazard a guess? Sure, we'll go with the devil. In the magically active community, we refer to it as the adversary. But yeah, same being, more or less. So, my idol, the ancient deity that was feeding me my power, was the antithesis of everything that is right and good. And you know what? I didn't care. In our time together, Harrow and I committed more atrocities than I could count. At this point, I was onto all of his tricks. I knew that Firstel was nothing more than a honey trap, carefully designed to lure local children into my master's clutches. I knew that the kids who seemed resistant to Harrow's brainwashing techniques wound up fertilizing the garden. Oh shit. I knew that Harrow's entire manifesto was bullshit. And I knew that through it all, Harrow and the adversary were laughing, because I was laughing right there beside them. I don't want to pin the blame for my decisions on anyone but me. That said, I would like to posit that my father's connection to the Cruise Ritters might have helped play into my willingness to serve the adversary. In my warped, indoctrinated little brain, I equated the church with evil, so the opposite of that, I figured, had to be, well, if not good, then at least not totally bad. But I was kidding myself, of course. My new deity was the very definition of bad. Serving it made me bad. End of story. See, I can't excuse the choices you made, but I can understand why you made them. Go ahead and make your excuses. We all make our own choices in life, and when you choose to hurt innocent kids, my sympathy for you went right out the window. I disagree with you, Glory. I don't think that any of this was your fault. Harrow is the one who deserves the blame. Well, we're definitely not choosing the middle one. But I feel like Glory will not take kindly to us just passing it off as all Harrow's fault. Yeah, I can't excuse the choices that you made, but I can understand why you made them. That's big of you, Cassie. I genuinely mean that. Glory takes a moment to steel herself, then continues on. Okay, yeah, I think we made the right choice there. Anyway, one day, Harrow invited me on a field trip to Stuttgart. And, like, yeah, she's obviously, like, a victim, but it still remains that she did make these choices. And these are things that she still did. Over the years I was at Firstel, the commune had easily doubled in size. It was thriving, all thanks to the efforts of Marta and the girls like her. Harrow would send the girls out to neighboring cities to lure in the street kids that nobody would miss. He targeted children because they were easy to indoctrinate, and because nothing makes the adversary happier than the corruption of the innocent. As we drove out to pick up the new recruits, I was already planning ahead. It was a foregone conclusion that I would pay my father a visit. The irony of a group of cruise ritters getting immolated by a genuine servant of the actual devil tickled me to no end. So, when Harrow stopped to fill up on diesel, I hopped out of the van and headed out on foot to my parents' place. Harrow wasn't overly concerned about my absence. I had long since reached the point where I could assert my autonomy, and he knew that I'd be back. I wound up at my folks' house sometime around noon. I could hear the adversary whispering in my ear, telling me what to do. I'd long since learned to listen to its voice. It always rewarded me with extra power when I did its bidding. It told me to knock, so I did. As the door opened, I could feel a torrent of flames welling up in the astral plane all around me. It told me to channel them into the doorway, into my father, so I did. But of course, the person who opened the door wasn't my father. It was my mother. As I watched her flesh blacken and melt, as I heard her scream and I broke into hysterics, I heard the adversary laugh. And at that moment, I realized that it was laughing at me. Yeah, we're gonna be apologetic here. I'm so sorry. Glory nods, a grim expression on her delicate face. Thanks. We're almost to the end now. Thanks for sticking with me. It was like a lever had been pulled. All at once, the bubble popped. I wasn't a powerful servant of the adversary. I was not Harrow's #1 girl. I was a ridiculous little fool who'd willingly tied her soul to the worst thing in existence. Realizing all of this was one thing. Actually fixing it was something else entirely. I knew that I had to get away from Harrow. That was the first thing to do. So I bit my lip and did my best to ignore the happy babble of the new recruits on the trip back to First Cell, and I managed to get through the ride without screaming. Once we were back at the commune, I broke into Harrow's safe, stole all of the commune's resources, and ran. I don't know when Harrow realized what I'd done, or whether he even cared. All that I know is that nobody came after me, so I kept running and running until I got to Berlin. Getting past the wall was fairly simple. You know how easy it is to obtain falsified papers. The biggest obstacle that I faced during my flight was the adversary itself. I could run from Harrow, but how do you run from something that's tied to your own soul? I have a feeling that I know. The haunted look in Glory's eyes is heartbreaking. She gives you another curt, grim nod. I walked into the office of the first street doc I could find, pointed at all the biggest, bulkiest pieces of cyberware that he had on display, and told him to put them into me. He tried to upsell me on better merchandise, arguing that what I was asking for was old and inefficient, better suited to be installed in a museum than in a body. He told me that I'd be shredding my essence, and that once it was gone, I'd never be able to get it back. I stuck to my guns. After all, shredding my essence was the whole point. Glory looks up at you. Her eyes are sunken and hollow, and the aura of loss about her is palpable. She looks like a woman who has been through hell. That's all for now, Cassie. You've heard the tale. You know why I am the way I am. You know the things I've done and how much I have to atone for. If you still want my company, fine. If I've lost your friendship, I understand that too. But for now, I need to be alone. Alright. We are advancing towards Glory's personal quest, which I assume is going to be coming up next after our next side quest, probably. Because I imagine she's got one more segment. And then we're probably going to be going off to, I don't know, maybe do something about the adversary's connection to her for good, or deal with her father, or something, I don't know. At the sound of your approach, Blitz stubs out his cigarette. He gives you a curt nod. Cassie, I'd offer you a smoke, but that was my last one. Alright, how'd that whole Emily situation work out? Turn up anything new? Yeah, well, sort of. It's mostly speculation, truth be told. So what's the deal? She working with the Azzies or what? No, I don't think so, but I do have a new lead. After our talk, I went wading into all of the Az technology matrix hubs that I could find. Nothing too deep, don't worry. I don't want to set off any alarm bells. But I had a hunch that if I poked around long enough, I'd find something that might lead me to Emily. To be fair, shredding your essence until you're almost a cyber zombie is a good way to cut yourself off of your patron. Yeah, I guess so. Well, it's certainly a way to cut yourself off from your patron. I don't know if it's a good way. And sure enough, I did. A message from the genuine article herself. She messaged you? Sure enough, sent me a note. Want to hear what it said? He presses forward without waiting for a response. I'll tell you. The note said, and I quote, "Lay off, Blitz. I told you to leave me alone. You've shown admirable self-control over the past year. Please don't give up on it now. I'll be back when I can, if I can. Until then, keep away from me, for both of our sakes." So, I found her. and she wants nothing to do with me, again. No explanations, no apologies, just a verbal pat on the head. I've shown admirable self-control? Really? She makes it sound like I'm a toddler or something. So, did you lay off like the message said? Hell no! I wasn't gonna stand for that. Where does she get off? Stealing from me and then acting like it was my fault? I tried to trace the message, like any good Decker would. And did you succeed? No. She's good, Cassie. Better than I ever thought she was. I couldn't trace the damn thing. I could keep digging, though. I mean, if she noticed me doing it before, I must have been close. Now, before you say anything, I was more discreet this time. I can be subtle if I have to. Nobody noticed what I was doing, and I did find another clue. I hesitate to ask. That's okay, I'll tell you anyway. I found a connection between Emily and Seder Krupp. So, do you think that she works for SK then? That she stole the encrypted data from you to give to them? Well, maybe. I don't know. It's confusing. I was also able to track down some message fragments connecting her to the Schockenwallen writer. So maybe she was a Seder Krupp mole, and she got close to me so that she could, I don't know, so she could profit from my decking expertise. Maybe when she told me not to steal that data, she was using reverse psychology. That's gotta be it. She must have wanted me to take it. He frowns, then shakes his head. But then again, maybe she's with the Schockenwallen writer and she's screwing both the Azzies and SK over. If that's the case, then maybe she was with me because she genuinely wanted to be. He pauses for a moment, considering. Then, all at once, he seems to perk up. His chest puffs out, and he nods once decisively. Yeah, we went over a bit of the details of Seder Krupp there with Dietrich, because we chose them as his new target for after we beat the first winch. In either case, I should make an effort to find her. I mean, she's playing a dangerous game, whether she's with SK or the Schockenwallen writer. Maybe she's gotten herself in too deep. She might need help. I mean, why else would she send me such a cryptic message? But we're in an ad break, so we're going to decide what to do after the break. Stick around. Alright, let's continue. Okay. Let's see, I think you should go after her. She's clearly in over her head if she needs you. Blitz, that message was anything but cryptic. She wants you to stay far away. It's up to you, Blitz. At the end of the day, you're gonna do whatever you want to do anyway. Yeah, like, as much as I enjoy goading Blitz towards his own destruction, I feel like in this case, like, she was pretty clear. Oh, well, that's a big corporation then. Blitz, that message was anything but cryptic. She wants you to stay far, far away. Yeah, that's what she said, but I'll bet that she didn't mean it. She probably just didn't want to worry me. Or maybe she said it under duress. I mean, you've got to agree that it's at least worth checking out. Okay. Tell him it's a bad idea, or forget I said anything. You should go after her. I'm sure that she needs you. No. See, the thing is, I don't want to, like, kill a side quest by shutting him down on this. But, like... Oh, either option will do? Okay. In that case, we're gonna tell him it's a bad idea. Although I'm surprised that Blitz has 2 loyalty missions. You worry too much, Chief. I'm the best, remember? So where's the harm in digging a little deeper? I mean, Em might need me. If this is how you acted when you and Emily were together, I can see why she left. He recoils as if you'd punched him. Whoa, that was a pretty messed up thing to say, Chief. It was also accurate. You routinely ignore those around you because you think that you know better. But I'm here to tell you, you do not know better. But Blitz, listen to me. You need to show some more of that self-control and drop this. Blitz deflates before your eyes. He looks down at his shoes. Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay, boss, you win. I'll let it go. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we got a mission, so I don't know if that's something that's going to come later, or if that's not actually true. Alright, you know what, let's talk to, Millet. No, okay, so they've got nothing new. But we do have to do, Iger's mission here. Why is there a white marker? I don't know what the white marker is for. Oh, do we have, data to drop off? Or is it... Am I supposed to go here? Oh, right, we have to go here for Iger's thing. Okay. Although I probably should check in at the, Oh, wait, no, there's just Lucy Strike. Oh, no, there is the back room, right. Does Lucy have anything new to say? Lucy Strike raises an eyebrow at your approach. A burning cigarette dangles between the fingers of her right hand, and she holds a glass of scotch in her left. Cassie, fancy seeing you again. Yeah, well, I was hoping you'd want to chat. Oh? She takes a drag on her cigarette. Well, color me intrigued. What do you want to talk about? Been finding much work right recently? Yeah, but the Cruise Bazaar isn't the best place to do it. There aren't a ton of jobs out here if you don't have a network. You don't have people in the Cruise Bazaar? Nope, my crew's in Mint. There's lots of work out there if you can handle it, but life isn't as pleasant there as it is in the Cruise Bazaar. She gestures with her cigarette, the tip glowing red in the gloom. I mostly visit your lovely little keys between runs to restock and relax. It's a good place for that, nice and slow-paced. It's... She pauses a moment to search for a word. Quaint. Don't suppose you'd be interested in taking a permanent position on my team? Don't suppose I would. Like I said, I've got a team of my own. Good people who've earned my loyalty 100 times over. I can do a little moonlighting here and there, but they wouldn't take it kindly if I up and bailed on them. She takes another sip of scotch. Better that it stays like this. If you need me for a run, I'm available. You just need to pay me first. Keeps things clean and simple. Is the bartender here any good? Nope. It's called Der Weinkeller for a reason. The guy behind the bar is more like a Bush League sommelier than he is a proper bartender. Knows a bit about wine, but when it comes to mixing drinks, he's useless. If you want a drink, I'd recommend sticking to something simple. Try ordering something with more than 2 ingredients, and you're asking for trouble. So are you a wine drinker then? Me? No. Never developed a taste for it. She tilts her glass, swirling the amber liquid inside. I'm not a big fan of sweet things. Never have been, not even when I was a kid. I've always preferred smoke. If you don't like wine, why hang out in a wine bar? Because it's usually empty in here, and I don't like to be bothered. And as hopeless as the bartender is, it's tough to mess up scotch if you order it neat. Now, do you have another question, or... I gotta run. See you around. Yeah, see ya. Alright, I assume we're gonna find our person here. Yep, here we go. Bannock. This dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Iger through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down a mug of soykaf. On the edge of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in a haze of cigarette smoke. Hoy, Iger. Been a long time. He taps a thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keeping busy? You could say that. Cassie, this is Bannock. He's a friend. The dwarf scoffs. Don't know if I'd go that far. Nothing personal, you understand. But if I were to start keeping... excuse me. Nothing personal, you understand. But if I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. She smiles. Professional acquaintance, then. The dwarf nods. Better. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? Let's. We need intel on the engineer. Where he's staying, who he's working for, how long he's been in Shatnest. Whatever you've got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth, and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse. And of course, I'll give you what I can, but I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. The dwarf nods, then fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. Alright, what you're looking at is the northwest quadrant of Shatnest. This is gang territory, all of it. These days, the whole Keys is being held by Rambach. Not those assholes again. Afraid so, and by all accounts, they've gotten worse recently. The guy that filled the power vacuum when their last leader bit it is a real piece of work. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of a building. Anyway, this warehouse right here is Rambach HQ. That's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful. Iger exhales heavily. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet. And they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you this, but the last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and Rambach. No good could come of that. Can't argue with that. Now, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. What I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit-down with him. Bannock reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who would kill you for what's in that bag. You gonna tell us what it is, or do we have to guess? He lowers his voice to a soft whisper. You have to lean in to hear him clearly. What you're gonna find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It has a rubberized grip and a hair trigger, and it's good for one shot. Is it a stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. I had it shipped here at great personal expense from a supermax prison in the UCAS. He traces a twirl in the air with the fork. The warden owed me a favor. Iger whistles appreciatively. Very nice, Bannock. That should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. I wouldn't be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. The engineer is rocking a Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless you can shut it down, there's no way in hell you're going to catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same thing as broken. The dwarf shovels another heaping forkful of pie into his mouth. He chews thoughtfully. Until then, his life will be a living hell, but I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out of his comfort zone, the better. Sounds like we have a plan. Iger nods. Sounds that way. Thanks, Bannock. We'll let you know how things work out. Don't bother. I'll be watching. Alright, so we have a new side quest. I do want to quickly stop by the phone booth here, because I don't know if I have anything for them. Old obsolete phone booth? No, okay. Alright, so nothing doing there. It seems that there are 2 yellow markers. I think they're probably just the 2 different entrances to the, yeah, it's just the other entrance to the U-Bahn. Good, good. Let's save real quick. I've been buying some new gear. I got new armor and new spells for Cassie. You can't actually buy gear for your allies in this game. You can only buy it for yourself. And technically your dog, for reasons I'm not entirely certain. Let's see. Yeah, let's do Iger's now. Thought you buying gear and letting companions equip. You can't actually do that. Not in this game. In the first game you could, but in this game you cannot. Yeah. You can only equip your own gear. Yeah, see? There's no options to change their equipment. Not even if you go to the locker in your place. So, in this game, you can only change your own stuff. Yes. I've got lots of medkits. Shat Nest. The key is next door to the Cruise Bazaar, and an object lesson in anarchy gone wrong. Violent gangs rule the streets here, trading territory to the roar of gunfire. The streets are a war zone. As dangerous as Shat Nest already is, it could be worse. The gangs are vicious but disorganized. They pose little risk to their neighbors. With little more than a makeshift barricade and a few volunteers, the Cruise Bazaar has successfully insulated itself from the chaos of its neighboring keys. The engineer could change all of that. He has to be stopped, and the F-State as a whole needs to be alerted to what his clients are trying to do. It's up to you and Iger to make sure that happens. Okay, what the hell is this? Oh, that's the deactivator, right. Okay, yeah, so let's stock up my kits here. I think that's probably good for revives. Let's just grab one more kit, and we're good. You have karma. Sure. How much karma do I have? 11. Okay, so I should definitely use this. Thinking I should probably go into dodge. Our willpower is pretty good right now, to be honest. I don't think we really need to go any higher. Unless, what does this give us? No, that's just the maximum for... Yeah, so this doesn't actually do anything for us. Oh, this gives us a new etiquette. Cool. Yeah, so I'm going to grab that. We're going to grab... You know what? I think... gang etiquette is probably going to be useful. Gang or security? We don't really need socialite. Shadowrunner, we don't really need. Let's say gang. And then I would need 2 more for the next one. We're not going to do that, though. What I will take, however, is more dodge. Good, good. As you near the edge of the cruise bazaar, the familiar piss and asphalt stench of Shatnest crawls into your nostrils and sticks in the back of your throat. The dilapidated husks of burnt-out buildings loom above you, giving the place an air of menace. I was hoping I'd put this place behind me after the Humanist run. Yeah, I'm with you there, she wrinkles her nose. The funny thing is, a syndicate presence might actually help Shatnest, in the short term at least. They'd clean up the streets if nothing else. Don't tell me you're changing your mind. Not for a second. A syndicate, any syndicate, in Shatnest would be a disaster for the cruise bazaar. Let the people on the other side of the gate deal with their own problems. I won't allow my home to be endangered for their sake. Good. Alright, so the question now is, where the frick are we going? Oh, I guess talking to, this guy. We've been here before. You again? Well, you ignored my warning last time, and you ain't dead, so I guess you can handle yourself. He sighs. Let him through, Sergey. I'm glad I didn't have to murder you. Bye. Actually, can I talk to you again? He nods at you. Be careful out there. Okay, that's it. Nice to see you, Sergey. Is there anything cool down here? No. There is not. Okay, so the question then becomes... Ooh, a cardboard box. The question becomes, are we going to be quickly distracted? The cardboard box is filled with makeshift bedding. A homeless person might be using it to keep warm at night. Yeah, sure, we're going to search the box. You find a basic, uncertified cred stick underneath the pillow. I think if this person, whoever it is, didn't take this with them, they are probably dead. Cool, we got 66 bucks. Okay. No, correction. I robbed a dead hobo. If they were still alive, they wouldn't have left it under a pillow in a cardboard box. Can we get through that wall? No. Like, if there was an actual person there, then I definitely would not have taken it. But, like, the fact that it was abandoned there says a lot. What is... Oh, there it is. I knew I saw an icon there. Oh, good, some drugs. We're gonna send it to our stash so we can sell it later. Alright. When are we gonna run into someone we need to shoot? This seems like an... Yeah, this seems right. Rambot gang up ahead. Maybe there's a way around? Oh, yes, okay, so here's the gang. So can we go through back here? Yeah! Who's this? Is this someone we can talk to? Nope, they're just doing their thing. Alright, that gets me through. I'm assuming we don't want to have gone through this area here. Let's see. Where to now? Do we go over this way? Yeah, that seems to be out of their line of sight sufficiently. Oh, here we go. Ah, this must be the warehouse. Should we be going around behind then? Oh, who's this generic lady? Can we go in back here and go anywhere? No? Okay. Maybe we should talk to Lady? Don't see any prompts over there. I got pots and pans. You need pots and pans? No, but some info would be nice. You see any new friends of the Rambach show up lately? Yeah, sure I have. What's it to you? The woman eyes you up and down, clearly waiting for you to make an offer. 50, we could pay 50 new yen. Oh, but we have street etiquette, so we don't have to pay. I'll make things very bad for the Rambach once I know where their friend is staying. She leans in for a whisper. They're just down the street, in the warehouse with the grass in front. New guy showed up a few days ago. Seems like a bigwig. They've been moving product through there ever since. What kind of product? That'd cost you extra, sweetie. Is it important? How much money do I have? Oh yeah, I got plenty of cash. Here, have 25 bucks. Drugs, guns, the usual. Seems like more drugs than guns lately, so maybe things will pick up around here. Thanks. No problem, honey. I got the best deals on pots and pans this side of Spandau. Alright, I don't think that was especially useful, but... she probably needs the money more. What? What do you want? Just looking for some information. I bet you are. I've seen your type before. You're probably looking for someone, or looking for something that's been stolen. Either way, the Rambach won't be happy about you sticking your nose into Shatnest. I'm new in town. What's hot around here? Whack people with frying pans? Maybe so. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. All there is to do in Shatnest is get your arse beat by gangs until you decide to join one. Which gang are you in? I'm still in the former camp. I've heard what the Rambach do to haze new members. I'll take getting pushed around every once in a while over that. Alright, I'm leaving. Alright, well, I guess that's everything. Since I don't think there's anything of value up here. No, no prompts or anything, so let's, go take a look at this warehouse. Oh! There's a motorcycle over here. Let's go fuck with someone's motorcycle. That looks like an Akira motorcycle. The engine's still warm. Colors on the tank clearly mark it as Rambach property. Alright then. Let's pop the door. The warehouse... oh, we don't have decking. Okay. The warehouse door is a windowless slab of reinforced, densoplast. A keypad entry system sits on one side. Got any ideas, Iger? Looks secure. She examines the heavy door, scowling. I might be able to blast it open with a controlled explosive, but that'd spook anyone inside. Probably best if we could just find the code. But where are we gonna find the code? buttons on the keypad are badly worn, and a wad of chewing gum has been plastered over part of the flickering screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, no, I'm not gonna stay here all day trying to get the code. I assume the code is gonna be somewhere around. Probably from one of the dudes over this way. No, I would rather discover it. Please do not spoil any gameplay stuff. Alright, that warehouse you told me about is locked up with a key code panel. You know anything about that? Sure, I can help you out there for a price. Yeah, I'll be doing you a favor once I get that code, you know. Not this time. Pay up or no deal. 500! No less. I gotta make a living, you know. 500 is too much. Surely someone else here has more information than that doesn't cost 500 new yen. No. Let's not get too close to those guys. Ah, so they are the guys. How are we supposed to... Like, I assume that we could pay 500 bucks to get the info. We don't really need the money for anything right now, to be honest. So I'm thinking it might just be worth it to just do that. But I'm wondering if anyone else around here has any info. Alright, I don't see anything here. Let's see if the door guard, the gate guy, has any info for us. Or if a hobo has returned to claim their cred stick. Can we actually get through here? We can, but it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Let's talk to the gate boy. Hey, gate boy. You know about gates. I guess he doesn't know about that gate. And it doesn't seem like there's anything else here that we can interact with. Alright, guess we have to go and pay 500 bucks. I feel like it's either that or we have to murder all the Rambok guys. And with only 2 people, even if those 2 people are me and Iger, I feel like that might not be a great use of my resources. It's too bad I don't have the strength to hold her up. Like, I don't know why we can't just use Iger to shake her down. Like, Iger has the strength for it. Wait, what? Am I locked out of that now? I thought I could come back and pay her. Well, it sure seems like it. Maybe if I go and interact with the keypad again? Yeah. No, I'll figure it out. Got any ideas, Iger? You know where we could get a controlled explosive around here? Afraid not. I used to know a weapons dealer out here, but he wound up dead in an alley. 2 shots back of the head. Very professional. She eyes the door. A grenade alone won't bring this down. If we could find a propane tank, I could rig up something with that. Maybe from the motorcycle? No. Alright, maybe now if we talk to her, she'll have more options. No. Okay, what about the man? Does he have propane? No. Oh, this looks like a propane tank. Alright, we got it. Alright. Ha! You wanted 500 bucks? Screw you. We're just going to explode the door. This is probably going to make things slightly more difficult, but, yeah, we're going to make a bomb. Ah, Hank Hill can bite me. Alright, fearless leader. There isn't anything subtle about what we're about to do, and I mean that. They're going to hear this explosion back in the cruise bazaar. That means that when this thing goes off, it's go time. We need to get to the engineer before he slips away. If we lose him, we won't find him again. Whoa. Okay, that was weird. My model froze for a minute. We do have a lot of movement between us. I think we're probably fine. Oh, crap. Yeah, you know what? Let's try something else. Okay, yeah, so I can still make the bomb. So we're gonna save, because we're smart. And now we're gonna make the bomb. We'll want to stand back a bit. Yeah, let's, I think, we're gonna have to deal with these guys real quick. In there's our man. Wait, which one's our man? Is it the big chunky guy? What's the way through? It's not through the left. Yeah, I don't see a way through on the left there. Got a conjurer and a ganger. I don't know what a ganger is, but, that conjurer needs to die, like, immediately. And we will do that with... Oh, right, I can't fireball because that's 2 points. But I can flamethrower. Wait, that's it? Okay, well, from here I should be able to use my... Wait, which one's the sniper rifle? That one's the sniper rifle. Still only a 67% chance? That's messed up. Well, 73% chance with my shotgun. 88 if we do this. Seriously? How tanky is this friggin' conjurer? Shit, that's what I wanted to avoid. Alright. Yeah, so he needs to die. Which means... Fireball. And... I guess shotgun shot. Very good. That gets rid of the conjurer. The Ganger, I'm not super worried about, but Cassie doesn't have any movement right now anyways, so might as well try and deal with him. Let's see. Scatter shot? Or miss? Shit. Does that mean he's just gone now? Did we only have, like, 2 rounds to get to him? Yeah, he's gonna be playing catch-up forever. Crack the door. What's this? Lieutenant. Mage. Okay, let's strip the lieutenant here. That'll make them basically not a problem. Not good odds from here. So let's get behind some kind of cover. Ow! Okay, well, she needs to heal. We're still down 20. That's the Enforcer. We're gonna have to chase him through there, I guess. Okay, well, this lieutenant needs to die, and so does everyone else in here. 58%? Well, that's not acceptable. I guess I'm gonna have to... move in and try and get some cover somewhere. And Iger can take out someone here with the shotgun. The mage is probably a good idea to kill off. You know what? Yes, I know I need to get rid of the mage. I'm just wondering what's best, how to do this. Dragon's Breath. Fingers crossed. Hey, that worked. Oh, shit. That was a ton of damage. Yeah, this mage fucking sucks. How about fuck you both? Mage is almost dead. Scatter shot. That'll do it. And standard... Actually, I wonder if I can hit that guy with my... No. Yeah, alright. Fine, standard shot on the lieutenant here. He's gonna be a problem. Yeah, it's fine. Iger can soak this damage. 48 chance. What if I use... That's still only a 54% chance. What about lightning? No, all of the... Well, Mana Bolt actually will do. That's almost enough to get him. And he is on fire, so he's just gonna die next round. So I'm gonna start moving. Wait, where did the other guy go? Did the other guy disappear somewhere? Alright, Iger can open the door. Enforcer, we need to get to the streets. Yeah. I guess just standard shot. Oh yeah, that'll help. Yeah, he died. Yeah, you're coming back out of the darkness. Hey, can you maybe not do that? And get into the next room. Iger can pop to the streets. I'm not worried about the ganger. I don't know what this is down here. I hope it's not important. Oh, there he is. Okay, so we haven't lost him. That would take me 2 to get to there. If I go here, I should probably have a bead on him. Or what range do I have to be to use this thing? Oh, I need to be closer for that. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so shooting him's probably not the best idea. In that case, I guess we'll just get it closer. Tiger can come up here. We've got one more dude here, but we are making some ground. Okay, I desperately need healing here. Otherwise, I'm not going to survive this. He's just a ganger. I'm not particularly worried. That was just an enforcer. I'm gonna move Cassie here. No, Iger can't do it because Iger doesn't have the device. But what I can do is get Iger on the other side of the engineer here. You can mark him off? I don't know what that means. Slow his retreat? I'm not sure how I would do that. Like, I could try shooting him. I think Iger might have a bullet for that. Stun... Oh, wait, here. We need to use this one. Nope, that's that. Does -1 AP. That's fine. Reload. Yeah, let's try kneecapping him. 35% chance, not great. But hey, we landed! I might have a stun grenade. But I should be within range to do this. What do you mean, not enough AP? Oh, I need to get closer in order to do that. Okay, fine. I can lightning bolt to reduce his AP. 63% chance, but... -2 AP! Okay. That means, he'll be stunned out. And, yeah, Iger can, I guess, get into cover behind Cassie. I do not care about the mooks right now. Ow. Fuck. That was the one thing that was, a problem. Shit. Okay. Well, we're going to, kneecap the engineer here. Good. And then we can use an aimed shot to target this guy. Sure, it's damage. Shit, stop targeting Cassie. Oh, she's not got a lot of health left. But we gotta use the thing on him. There we go. Alright, now we have to get rid of the gangers. And heal Cassie. Because, yeah, otherwise she was gonna just instantly die. Good thing I put those extra points into dodge. Wait, where are my other... Oh, here we go. There's my other spells. There you are, my precious spells. Flamethrower. That'll do. And then lightning bolt. Very nice. Then Iger can just pop him. Very good. And switch to sniper. Seriously, only a 50% chance there? Alright, well, aimed shot. That'll at least give me a shot on this one. Stop friggin' critting on Cassie, for fuck's sake. Okay, Cassie needs to get under cover and heal. It's not gonna heal a lot, but it's something. Iger, get under cover and med kit on Cassie. Ugh. Okay. Now. Okay, I can't fireball reliably here. But I can try to flamethrower. Nailed it. Good. And then Mana Bolt's just gonna hit pretty much guaranteed. Iger. Well, shotgun is slightly more likely to hit. Even at this range, which is weird. Not that it hit at all. How is she being flanked? I don't understand how that works here. Alright, well, let's... Oh wait, no, that's us right now. Okay. We are going to... Lightning... Actually, have we taken damage? We have. Heal wounds. Lightning bolt. Damn it. Iger, we're gonna move over here. No, shotgun is still better. Not by much, but... We're, having a lot of trouble dealing with this guy here. You know what? Fuck it, we're gonna strip his armor. That should help a little bit. Fireball. That'll do. And Iger will continue trying to take pot shots. Hey, that worked. Help me drag this guy back to the warehouse. We're going to find out what he knows. The engineer lies splayed out on the ground, his body trembling violently. Iger shoves a bottle up his nose and squeezes. The engineer shudders violently, then the trembling begins to subside. She glances at you. An aerosol BZD to help treat the seizures. Bannock was kind enough to include it in his goodie bag. It won't last long, but it should give Yuli here enough muscular control to answer a few questions. The engineer's voice comes out in a trembling stutter. Fuck you, troll. Iger raises an eyebrow. See? He's talking already. The engineer's eyes burn with hate. Beads of sweat dot his brow as he struggles to control the tremors that rack his body. He takes a deep breath, holds it, and releases it slowly. The trembling begins to subside. Feeling better, Yuli? Ready to chat? Slowly, the orc's eyes shift from Iger to you. I know that, troll bitch. We have history. But you are a stranger to me. Are you sure that you have the stomach for this stranger? Not many do. Yeah, I'm gonna hit him. The wind explodes out of the orc's lungs as your fist slams into his belly. His breath stinks of harissa and garlic. After a few panicked seconds, he manages to gasp out a word. Bitch! Sticks and stones, Yuli. Iger leans in toward the engineer. He recoils, grinding the back of his head against the grease-stained Duraplast tiles. You're helpless, a fucking cripple. Her voice comes out in a snarl. But if you answer our questions, things will go easier for you. So tell us, whose payroll are you on? She grabs a fistful of the orc's hair and lifts his head. Her face is inches from his. Tell us who sent you to Shatnest. There's a long pause. Eventually, the engineer looks away. Alright, you want to know so badly? I'll tell you. Tamanu sent me here. They want to use Shatnest as a base of operations in Berlin. My point of contact is a ghoul named Beetle. He leans forward and locks eyes with Iger. There, you got your intel. Now set me free or kill me. Yuli. Iger leans back, shaking her head. You wouldn't roll over on an employer this easily. Your rep tells me that much. He raises an eyebrow in a look of mock astonishment. No? No, Iger's right. You're jerking us around. You wanted a name, I gave you a name. Want more? I can give you those too. I can name you 100 clients who'd love a piece of Shatnest. How do you intend to determine who really sent me? I've got a couple of ideas. The engineer smirks. You can try beating the truth out of me. You can try cutting on me. Get creative with the pliers if you like. Every time you hurt me, I'll give you a different name. Torture me or don't. It'll all end the same way. I'll be dead, you'll know nothing for certain, and my clients will move ahead on schedule. Cooperate, and maybe it doesn't have to end that way. Maybe you'll get out of here alive. He snorts. Think I'm delusional, woman? I'm already dead. The she-troll beside you is going to put a bullet in my brain as soon as she gets what she wants. Just look at her. Take a long look at that ugly troll face. She's just aching to put me in the ground. Iger's hands bunch into fists. She's still smiling, but you can feel the heat of the hatred behind her eyes. You've got bigger issues to worry about than my face, Yuli. If you don't start telling me what I want to hear in the next 30 seconds, this is going to get messy. I can say nothing. You know, Iger, he takes his time pronouncing the name, savors it. I'd like to tell you a story. We share so much history, you and I. Iger says nothing, but her eyes narrow. The engineer continues, his grin broadening. This is a funny story. It's a story about your time in the KSK. A story about futility. I can tell you all about the many lives you've touched, and how the syndicates touched them again afterwards. Would you like that? Fun thing is, in this, Iger is considered a looker in Shadowrun despite being a troll. I could see that. There's a long pause. Eventually, Iger turns to face you. Cassie, do me a favor. Sweep the building for intel. Anything that we might have missed on the way in. I don't know. I don't know if I should... Yeah. I'm on it. Take good care of our friend here. She shoots a disgusted glance at your captive. Yeah, don't worry. I will. Okay. So I saw a little prompt out here. Chemical storage barrels. A light jostle shows that they're completely empty. Oh, now we can go down here and see what this was all about. Courier. It looks melted. The cargo container is empty. Oh! This generic courier drone has been snapped together out of prefab parts from a dozen different manufacturers. It's a cheap utilitarian thing, remarkable only in that it is so incredibly plain. A half-bright teenager could cobble something like this together in an afternoon. The drone sits in a charging cradle, its turbofan unpowered. A cheerful green light blinks on its front panel to remind you that it's still active. You can see the silhouette of something under the flimsy plastic dome of the drone's cargo compartment. Whatever this thing was here to deliver, it's still carrying it. Pop the lid. You depress the catch on the container's plastic lid. Rather than swinging open, the lid slides back to reveal a touchpad. Looks as though this thing is password locked. We'll examine the drone more closely. Taking a closer look, you notice something strange. There's a set of electrical contact plates lining the lip of the drone's cargo compartment. It's a fair bet that this thing is outfitted with an anti-tempering system of some kind. We do not have the rigging for this. We also don't know the password. So we're going to step away for now. And hopefully we will find a password somewhere else in here. Let's go through the door. Oh, a corpse. The broken body of a human man lies on the floor. His face is a mess of fresh cuts and congealing blood, and his head is oddly deformed. Despite his wounds, his mouth is twisted into a macabre smile. Judging by the shape of the ganger's head, you'd guess that his skull has been fractured in at least 3 places. We will continue with this, though, after the break, so stick around. We are back. Okay. Judging by the shape of the ganger's head, you'd guess that his skull has been fractured in at least 3 places. The center of his forehead is particularly gruesome. It looks soft, as though the skin was stretched like a tent between shards of broken bone. Looking up, you can see a great smear of gore on the door of the room that you found him in. The implications are clear. This man bashed his own head in trying to get out, and he did it with a smile on his face. His hands are badly broken too. You've seen these sorts of injuries after bare-knuckle fistfights, but never anything this severe. This man punched something hard, and went on punching until his hands were reduced to useless slabs of meat. We do not have the biotech to draw a medical conclusion. Anything of value on his body? I was hoping you would have a code or something. No? Anything here? Anything anywhere? Can I... Oh, no, that just goes back through there. Okay. There's no interacting with that. Oh, a ledger! There's a small ledger lying on this crate. The cover is cheap leatherette, and the paper is tissue-thin newsprint. The pages are filled to overflowing with handwritten text. You don't recognize the language, but judging by the accent marks, you'd guess it's the Scandinavian tongue. While you can't read it, the arrangements of the text tells you that the ledger is primarily being used as an address book. Okay. Oh. The forklift tires are flat. Looks like it hasn't been used in years. I guess we're not forklift certified. Okay. Well, I guess there's nothing else of value here. Maybe we can show Iger the ledger? No, but we can talk to this guy. As you approach, you can see that the engineer's chest is sheeted with blood. Most of it seems to be streaming from his nose, which has been crushed into a wad of bloody meat. Iger turns to face you. Her bunched fists are dripping red. Find anything? She speaks to you through clenched teeth. Her voice sounds strained and her cheeks are flushed. Having fun? I'm not doing this for fun. I'm doing it because he deserves it. If you knew half of what this bastard has done, if you'd heard the things that he just told me, you'd do the same. Maybe so, but you're on edge and I need you calm. Beating on him isn't helping. She pauses, then turns away. Just tell me what you found. Yes, please. The engineer's voice is thick and wet. He smiles through a set of gore-streaked teeth. Enlighten us. I found a body in the other... Or, you know what? Let's start with the journal. I found this ledger. I don't recognize the language, but it looks Scandinavian. Iger leafs through the journal, quickly flipping the soy calf-stained pages. Norwegian, maybe? I'm thinking that this is written in Bokmal. She frowns. I can't read it, but it looks like a shipping manifest. Yeah, something like that. There are a lot of addresses in there. She riffles through the pages, flipping the cheap paper with her thumbnail. Looks like addresses all the way through. Some are annotated, but I can't see any names. 2/3 of the way through the book, she stops short. Find something interesting? Wordlessly, she turns the journal around. At the top of the page, written in a different hand, is a single word. It's written in English, but you can understand it all the same. Wednesday. She nods. Yeah, not particularly helpful without a full date, but I guess it's something. Of course, Wednesday might not refer to a day of the week at all. It could be a code for something. Taken out of context like this, it's impossible to say. So what do you make of this? This should be good. Iger ignores him. Her gaze remains fixed on the book. It might be nothing, or it could mean that he's back in bed with the Lobachevsky Syndicate. The engineer holds his silence. Say nothing. Did you find anything else? We need to be sure about this before moving forward. I must have missed something. I'll keep searching. Yeah, now that we have the code, we should be able to pop this open, if I am correct about that being the right code for this. Wednesday. There we go. The plastic lid of the cargo container pops open with a click. Inside, you find what appears to be a homemade SimSense chip. It sits securely in a custom-made plastic bracket. You pop the chip out of the bracket and pocket it. A few seconds later, an angry hissing sound comes from somewhere deep within the drone. Step back. As you step away from the drone, the hissing sound grows into a roar. Bright white sparks spit out from the drone's melting chassis and streak across the room. You've seen this kind of reaction before. Thermite. Whoever built the drone must have wired it with a self-destruct device. Within seconds, all that's left of the little drone is a molten wreck on the charging cradle. Foul-smelling smoke pours from the remains. You steal another glance at the chip that you recovered and turn away. Alright, now we have everything. I'm glad we didn't smash it. Honestly, I was expecting that it was going to be drugs. Alright, I found a body in the other room. From the looks of him, he tried using his head to beat down a steel-reinforced door. Interesting, but not unusual in these parts. There are all kinds of drugs that could make a person act that way, and most of them aren't hard to get in a place like Shatnest. Found anything else? Yes. There are a pair of courier drones in the other room. No markings, they looked custom-built. One of them had been slagged, but the other had this chip in its storage compartment. When you produce the chip, the engineer's eyes widen slightly. He turns his head and coughs rack his body. Interesting. This means something to you, Yuli? Iger takes the chip from you and holds it up to the light. No identifying markings. I've seen enough BTLs in my time to know when I see it, but this is different. It's been modified somehow. Go ahead and slot it, bitch. It'll take you on the ride of your life. Iger raises an eyebrow. Smack him for me, will you? I'm busy. I do remember what a BTL is, because we encountered those in the first game. Yeah, I'll hit him. Your fist connects with the ruined meat of the engineer's nose. He coughs, chokes on his own blood, and then spits a wad of it onto your chest. How rude. You don't know what you're holding, slag. He spits the word out like venom. His eyes are locked on the chip in Iger's hand. Slowly, he licks his lips. You don't deserve to touch that chip. I think that you're right, Iger. Our friend here is an addict. The engineer glances at you with a snarl. Fuck you. The thing is, I know our friend's rep, and I'm telling you, he's much too careful to get himself addicted to Sims. She glances at the engineer. His eyes are locked on the chip. If these things have him hooked this badly, they must be even more addictive than standard BTLs. And we have street etiquette, so we can do the thing. This wouldn't be the first time that something like that had hit the streets. Talk with enough sim junkies and you'll hear all about it. Interesting. Tell me more. There's a sort of legend out on the streets. The ultimate high. They call it 2XS. Huh, never heard of it. Supposedly, it hit the streets of Seattle a couple of years ago. Vanished after a couple of months. There one day, gone the next. Nobody knows why. Scary stuff. I haven't heard rumors of anything like that around here, thank God. I'm not saying that this is 2XS, or even anything like it, but there are Sims out there that are even stronger than BTLs. It's possible that this is one of them. She turns to face the engineer. You got anything to add to that, Yuli? You have no idea how wrong you are about all of this. He struggles to rise from the floor, but his muscles refuse to cooperate. Finally, he gives up with a scowl. If I could move my arms, I'd take that chip from you and show you what it does. I don't know what guy you're talking about, Red. I'm sure that you would. She glances over her shoulder at you. Good find, Cassie. We've struck a nerve. Any other thoughts? Yeah, actually. I think I might know where the other chip went. Remember that body I found in the other room? Yeah, good thought. Go check it out, but be quick. I don't know how long it'll be before we have company here. I'm on it. Okay. That's why we can still interact with it. Alright. Peeling back a patch of matted hair, you find something that a casual viewer would have missed. The man had a chip jack. It's a cheap model, sufficient for loading SimSense chips and BTLs, but little else. It doesn't take much effort for you to pry it open. Inside the chip jack, you find a glob of plastic. It looks as though whatever this guy was running melted down sometime after he slotted it. A chip jack like this couldn't generate enough heat to destroy a SimSense chip. The only logical conclusion is that the chip itself was wired to melt down after use. Yeah, we'll take it. The engineer's eyes remain locked on the chip. His face has gone pallid white, and his shirt is drenched with sweat. His eyes bulge, and his breathing is heavy. Iger glances up from your manic captive and looks you in the eye. Find what you were looking for? Yeah, I pried his chip jack open and found a blob of melted plastic inside. It was still warm to the touch. Iger examines the remnants of the chip in your fingers. I've heard of things like this before. Single-use SIMs, designed to self-destruct after they're slotted. Keeps the customers from reusing the same BTL over and over again. I'd say that you found our missing chip. Let's see. Yeah, I agree, but the ganger who slotted this wasn't blissed out like a normal sim junkie. It was almost the opposite. He looked wild like a madman. Or, I don't know who would willingly slot something like this. It drove him to kill himself, and from the look of the body, he enjoyed every second of it. Or, this isn't a BTL. BTLs don't make you cave your own skull in. Yeah, let's go with that one. The engineer lets out a chuckle. It's a hoarse barking sound. You don't know a damn thing. I know that we have something you want, something you're willing to die for. Death is nothing. Nothing. If you'd seen what I've seen, you would know for yourselves. The chip, it opens your eyes. Slot one, and you become a god. Iger stares at him, her expression flat. The engineer sneers. I too was a skeptic. Then the wolf caught me, and the raven opened my eyes. And now, at last, I can see. Suddenly, he lurches forward. Every muscle in his body goes tight, and the cords stand out on his neck. Give me the chip! It was promised to me! I need it! Tell us who you're working for, and it's all yours. The engineer spits out a mouthful of blood. It hits the tile floor with a sickening splat. He grinds his teeth, and snarls out a single word. Winter night. There's a moment of silence. Finally, Iger speaks. Never heard of them. Of course you haven't, bitch. If you had, you'd already be dead. They don't leave loose ends. His body begins to tremble. It looks like the drugs are wearing off. They have money, she-troll. Money and influence enough to put the syndicates to shame. Even I cannot say how much, but I do know that what I've seen is just the tip of the spear. Alright, let's say you're telling the truth, and some sort of secret society is behind this. What do they want with Shatnest? They do not tell me these things. All I know is that they want to store things here. Crates, boxes, shipped in from all over. No cargo inspections, and no traces back to them. What are they shipping in? Weapons? Drugs? More of these BTLs? He eyes her incredulously. You think that I asked them? It's not my place to know. All that I know is what was promised to me. Give me the chip. His voice comes out in a shivering screech. You promised. She promised you the chip. Iger smiles at the engineer. Slowly, she pulls a knife from her belt. Its serrated edge glints in the light. I, on the other hand, didn't offer you a goddamn thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think we want to have someone take a look at this. He did cooperate, but if this thing is gonna slag itself as soon as he uses it, then we can't show it to anyone. She's got you there. Iger leans in to look the engineer in the eye. She grins. Goodbye, Yuli. She plunges her blade into the engineer's throat. The orc lets out a startled gurgling sound, thrashes, and dies. Iger wipes her hands clean and looks up, an expression of grim satisfaction on her face. Well, that takes care of that. Thanks for the assist, fearless leader. No problem, but we aren't done yet. We still have Winter Night to deal with. Can't do it, fearless leader. What you're suggesting is beyond the scope of our capabilities. I don't have any contacts in Norway. We wouldn't even know where to begin looking for Winter Night, and if we found them, what then? The two of us aren't going to stop an international conspiracy, I assume it's supposed to be on our own. We're good, but we're not that good. You got a point there. We'll let the Flux State handle it. Good call. Now, there's just one more thing that I want to do before we head home. She gestures at the engineer's lifeless body. We still need to search the bastard. Who knows? Maybe he has some additional evidence on him, or in him. Could be that he has headwear storage. We won't know until we go digging. Alright, let's get this over with. Time passes. The job is long and unpleasant, but eventually you find something. A hidden storage compartment in one of the engineer's cyberarms. Deactivated as his cyberware is, it takes some prying to get it open, but Iger leans in and puts some muscle into it. With a metallic snapping sound, the compartment yawns open. Iger reaches in and pulls out a cylindrical object about the size of a beer can. Geez, that's a lot of storage for an arm. She inspects it, and a smile creeps across her face. What the hell is that? She holds up the object for your inspection. This, my friend, is a pulse grenade. The last I heard, the Russian military were developing them as crowd dispersal devices, but that was years ago. Looks like Yuli kept a memento of his time in the Spetsnaz. She examines the grenade with a critical eye. Looks like typical Russian engineering. Clunky, but functional. If I took this thing apart, I bet that I could figure out how they made it. Anything else in there? She dips her hand into the secret compartment one more time. No, not that I can... Without warning, the engineer's cyberarms begin to twitch. His body bucks convulsively while his dead eyes stare straight ahead. Iger snatches her hand back and steps backward. What the heck? Oh. The engineer's body surges forward, a violent convulsive motion. His eyes bulge out of his skull. Then his chest evaporates in a spray of light. As you watch, the chemical fire that rages from the engineer's body blackens his flesh and spits sparks across the room. It's the same reaction that you saw when the drone went up, a thermite reaction. His employers, Winter Night, they must have implanted that thing in him. Yeah, must have. I'm willing to bet that if we hadn't used the cyberware deactivator on him, he'd have gone up before he had the chance to spill any names. If you were looking for further proof, I think that this was it. Yeah, looks that way. Let's go. People need to know about this. Alright, we did not let him escape. Time for us to bail. If you gave him the chip, he gives you a gun. Otherwise, you get the once permission grenade. Oh. Oh well. We don't use guns anyways, so it wouldn't have mattered. Unless it's like a gun that's given specifically to Iger, then that would be one thing. But with this... Oh, so it is a gun for Iger. Oh well. Is what it is. Maybe this grenade will actually be useful. Alright, we got a couple of karma. We still have one more job. The gun gives her a mid-range option. Oh, that would have been good, but... Oh, well. We made our choice. Let's see. Sharpshooter. Oh! I think we can just give her a new gun here anyways. Yeah, we could give her +1 movement. Ooh, that is pretty good. We'll dodge the first attack against them each round. Oh, but it costs 1 AP. So it's something that needs to be activated. Alright, so yeah, no, I'd rather give her the gun. Oh, that's a custom sniper rifle. Okay, that's fine. I'd still rather take the gun than the wired reflexes. Then you can get better electro core. Oh wait, no, they're both better electro core. Okay, so this one is the AoE increases. This one now costs 1 AP. Let's go. This one is adrenal pump, lasts 1 additional round. Or can use her adrenal pump on a downed ally to revive them. Let's go with that one. And then what does Blitz get? Blitz gains a Fairlight Excalibur Cyber deck, replacing his old Virtua deck. I guess that's an upgrade, which is probably a good thing. Or a Hydraulic Jack, which increases his move speed by 4 as a 0 AP action. No, I think I'd rather give him a better Cyber deck, because he's here to be our decker. There we go. Only one more rank for these guys' abilities, which makes me think we are getting close to the end of the game. I think we have data to throw into the what do you call it? The phone booth. Maybe. Either that or we have to go through the computer. Okay, yeah, so it's not something we can do through the phone booth. Let's see if that's something that we can dump into the computer. And see if we can, get some new dialogues, particularly with, Glory. Yes, we already talked about that, Red. Let's see. Hey, Chief. Oh, okay, he doesn't have any new story quests, but any thoughts about that last run? Nah, nothing. Okay. Okay, so nothing new with Blitz. We've already checked all the DVDs. Anything new, Dietrich? Nope. Although, actually, we didn't ask him about the last run, I don't think. Nope, okay. Nothing new there. Tiger. We should talk about what happened with the engineer. Agreed. I'm ready to go over it if you are. So, the engineer was working for a secret society. I wasn't expecting that. Neither was I. She frowns. Part of me is still having trouble believing it, but it's true. Yuli wasn't lying. I could see it in his eyes. Let's see. You said that you thought you could reverse engineer that pulse grenade that you pulled from the engineer. Any luck with that? Yeah, actually. It wasn't too difficult to pull the thing apart and see what made it tick. She smiles. One of my own was a different story, but I got it in the end. She reaches into her desk and grabs a cylindrical object. Gently, she lifts it up and hands it to you. Meet the newest addition to my arsenal. I call it the Voltaic Grenade. It's based on the same principles as the Russian Pulse Grenade, with a few tweaks of my own. Nice. You said that these things were designed for crowd control? Originally, yeah. Mine has a lot more bite, though. I bumped up the amperage quite a bit. When this thing goes off, it'll both shut down the nervous system and cook the organs of anyone in its blast radius. Sounds nasty. She nods and tucks the weapon back into her desk. It is. You wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of one of these. For now, I've only managed to make one Voltaic Grenade. They aren't the easiest things in the world to manufacture, or the cheapest. She nods thoughtfully. But I should be able to scrounge up enough raw materials to put a new one together between each run. Sounds good to me. Can we talk about something else? Don't have anywhere to be. If you have questions, ask away. Have you been able to do any digging on Winternight? No, there just isn't much reliable information out there. Whoever these guys are, they're very good at information control. None of my contacts could find anything but rumor and conjecture, and most of that is too crazy to even consider. How crazy are we talking here? Completely insane. Stories about magical nukes and the end of the world. Fenris shamans, Ragnarok, that kind of thing. She shakes her head. Like I said, nuts. There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world. It doesn't mean they're not real. She nods slowly. Yes, there are, and no, it doesn't. But this is just too far out for me to accept. It's far more likely that they release these stories themselves to throw people off of whatever they're really doing. Anyway, we stopped them cold in Shatnest. Whatever their business is, whatever was going to be in those crates that the engineer was having shipped there, it isn't our problem anymore. The Cruise Bazaar is safe, on that front at least. I hope you're right. Chin up, fearless leader. We did good back there. Besides which, we still have a dragon to worry about. When I left that room to search for clues, the engineer told you something. Something that pushed you over the edge. Her eyes narrow. That son of a bitch said a lot of things. What of it? Yeah, some of the deep Shadowrun lore is wild. One of my favorites is the secret society that controls the Illuminati. I don't know why you would need a secret society to control another secret society. The fun fact is it's probably run by a dragon. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Maybe. You knew that we needed him, but you beat him badly. I'm worried about that lapse of control. You don't need to be. There's nothing wrong with my self-control. I made a choice to unload on Yuli because he was a murderous asshole. I knew how much pressure to apply, which bones to break, and which ones to leave alone, and I did all of those things. But why? What did he tell you to push you to that point? It takes her a long time to respond. When she does, her voice carries a tone of resignation. You really want to know? Alright, fine. I'll tell you. He told me about a bunch of Polish towns that my unit swept for syndicate activity. He told me how the mob poured back in right after we left, and what they did to the people who'd accepted our help. He told me about the beatings, the rapes, the killing rooms, and the torture, and worse. He relished in describing it, the relentless, hideous barbarism of it all meant to teach some sort of lesson. I think that's the cruelest part of this story. Those people, they didn't need a lesson in how terrible life can be. They live with it every day. Yuli seemed to find all of this hilarious. Yeah, I know he was pushing my buttons on purpose, and yeah, I know that he was trying to make me lose control. But the hell with it. He deserved a good beating. Yuli didn't pull any punches, so I didn't pull any punches. And if you have a problem with that, you can go and get fucked. Yeah. My problem isn't with Yuli getting punished, it's with the fact that you let him play you. Maybe, but I can't ignore the possibility that he wasn't playing me, that these things did happen. She grits her teeth. That'd be a bitter pill to swallow, Cassie. To be fair, these guys basically control everything, and, well, the Black Lodge specifically isn't run by dragons or elves, and they don't let them in. Well, hopefully that stays the case, because I have a feeling that the world needs, all the places not run by dragons it has. If I leave things where they stand, there'll always be some hope that he was lying. But if I dig into this and find that he was telling the truth, if I find out that none of what we did meant anything... Even if he was telling the truth, that doesn't invalidate what your unit was doing over there. Doesn't it? Our actions might have drawn attention to these people, made them targets. They were already targets. You need to quit beating yourself up over this, Iger. It isn't like you. She gives you a brusque nod. You're right, it isn't. No more moping about, I promise. And I will look into this, Cassie. Wherever this trail leads me, I'll follow it, and I won't stop until I find the truth. I'm willing to help you see this through if you want the help. She shakes her head. Thanks, but no. Not now, at least. At some point, after we're done with what we're doing, I'll look into this. I'll get to the truth, whatever it might be. But I'm not going to do it today. Alright. When you are ready to start looking, you can call on me for help. I've got your back, Iger. She nods. I know it, and I'm glad. Now let's change tack. Is there anything else from the run you'd like to go over? She folds her arms across her chest. If you have any thoughts, I want to hear them. Nope, that was it. Dragons are just major players, but they don't have all the cards, to their chagrin. Yeah. Now, to be fair to the dragons, a lot of dragons aren't outright evil, and many do a lot of good things. One of the reasons they're still in natural worlds is the fact that dragons aggressively defend the wild places of the world, and it's not uncommon for some to take persecuted communities around their lairs. Yeah, but, like, even still, I get the impression that it's a lot like someone having a pet. Like, they still are under control in those cases. They're not really doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because it's something that they want. Alright, any thoughts about the last run? Nothing we haven't talked about? Alright, and that's it. Can we get new Glory stuff? Glory favors you with a weak smile, her expression cautious. You're suddenly aware of how very small she is. Hi, Cassie. I gotta admit, I've been dreading this. Oh, we get new Glory stuff! Short answer is, depends on the dragons. Some dragons do like people, and heck. Okay. So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you here to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if you were. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. Not great. Struggling. About how you'd expect. We left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story, and I have a question for you. Yeah? What's that? Let's see, you've escaped from Harrow, but he's still out there. If you're looking to atone for your past, don't you think that shutting him down would be a good place to start? Are you still looking for closure? Because your story has a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up. Okay. You got out of Firstel, but Harrow's cult is still up and running, right? Still full of kids who are being brainwashed and worse. So shouldn't we do something about that? Let's go with the first one here. You've escaped from Harrow, but he's still out there. If you're looking to atone for your past, don't you think that shutting him down would be a good place to start? She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Even Loftweir, for all his many faults, opposed his brother when his brother went full actual fascist and even contracted a team of Shadowrunners that did the undoable and actually maybe killed him. Well, I guess that's good. I kind of get the feeling that in Shadowrun, everything is kind of just best we can expect rather than actually good. Yes, I've been thinking about this for a long time, Cassie. And every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm going to need your help. I'm glad we're on the same page. Alright. If we're going to do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place. Lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then, there's also Harrow to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it. And if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else where we can't find him. And all of this will have been for nothing. We're likely to run into other complications as well. So I think that we need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harrow? I don't think we can manage both. He even bequeathed Almaeus a cake in his will with the words, "Unlike you, I'm actually dead." Okay. Let's see. Freeing the kids should be our first priority. We raid Firstel, round up the runaways, and clear Harrow's influence from their minds. Killing him will have to be secondary. We wipe out the cult, starting with Harrow. As long as he's alive, he can just start all this over again. We'll save any cultists that we can, but the ones that are too far gone will have to be put down. Like, I feel like getting rid of Harrow needs to be the priority here. Because If we don't, then there's nothing stopping him from doing this again. And that's, I think, the bigger threat. Harrow needs to die. I don't want any other kids hurt or killed, but Harrow, that bastard has to pay for what he did to me. She stops, as if suddenly unsure of herself. A moment later, a newfound confidence seems to seize her. She looks to you, and there's fire in her eyes. He has to pay for what he did to all of us. I won't let this happen again. He needs to die. You're damned right he does. Meet me at the van when you're ready to go. It's a long drive from here to the Schonbuck. She nods. I'll see you there. Alright, so we got a new side quest. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. Let's see, do we got any jobs? Nope, just the, Aztec. Alice Fund is still at 40k. Let's check the BBS. Oh, here we go. F State Protection. The writers have it on good authority that the Lobachevsky Syndicate is eyeing Shatnest for expansion. For the good of the Flux, we should keep a watchful eye on the situation. Okay, bad news for Shatnest. But if the Rambach isn't going to stop them, and I hear Surf Turf is out of the picture, well, I'm sure there's some Polyclub out there who wants that piece of the pie. I know we've got enough of them. I know that Humanus has some presence there, but I doubt they'll fight the Russians too much. I'd say they're far more likely to form a partnership. Okay, energy sources. I've got solar panels like everybody, but does anyone have experience with these mana turbine services? I'm off the grid, so there are some times when I need to do some late-night decking or maintenance on my telescoping limbs. Is that the thing where a mage comes by and drops some juice into a generator? My buddy was telling me about them last week. The turbine spins for the mana around, and the charge lasts for weeks, he said. They're a scam, chummer. That mage is gonna be out of there with your money before you realize how much power you've actually got. You're better off peddling a bike battery. Okay, do we have any pay data? No. Do we have any claims? Oh, here we go. 430, that's it? Alright, we got 387 more new yen. Alright. So that's that. I believe we've talked with everyone. I think we lost out on Blitz's, loyalty mission because we said not to go after the girl. Because he's not giving us any other dialogue here. One reason I love Shadowrun is that it's very messy, morally gray, things are complicated, and even when it seems it's straightforward, it often has a lot of messy gray under the surface. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that impression, Plum. Alright, so what's going to be our next mission? We're doing more of the side quests. We're not going to do the Aztec yet, because that will push us through into the end of the main plot. So we're going to do the side quests. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, right. That's not the U-Bahn. We have to take a van. I'm so used to going to the U-Bahn for everything. Where the hell's our fucking van? Wait, why is there a yellow prompt in the safe house? Who's got a yellow for me? What the hell's that? Climb down? What the heck's this? Where the heck did this come from? Oh, this is to the van. Okay. Why the heck is the path to the van underground? Yes, we're gonna add glory. Actually, before we do that, let's check our inventory. We need to restock our medkits before we go on this. I think some of the very few unironically black and white stuff tends to come about with spirit stuff, and that's because it's so alien to how people operate. Well, to be fair, Harlequin is usually a bro. Okay. I think we did get to play as him for a bit at the end of the first game. He was cool. Okay. Oh, we're running out of the good shit. I think I should go back to the medic to pick up some new kits. Harlequin is considered the most powerful non-dragon character in Shadowrun. Wow. He certainly didn't seem that way when we had him. Where was the friggin' medical center? I know it was around here somewhere. Was that this? No, that was not this. And then down here is the magic place. Top right, okay. I've only been there twice, so, it hasn't come up very much. Ah, yeah, here we go. Hey, what's up, Doc? Need supplies. Yeah, I'm gonna take both your gold kits. And all your level 2s. There we go. Very good. In Dunkelzan's will, he gave a man 4 million Nuyen just for the quest of finding Atlantis. I know he pulled off the most impressive thing, traveling into a metaplane with his flesh, but he had lost fights before. Okay, so where is our place? It should have a thingy on it. There it is. That should let us get back there easily enough. Oh wait, you've got dialogue here. What's up, Lane? The old troll putters about, his artificial joints complaining loudly. He seems heavier today than when you first met, and he takes your approach as reason to seat himself and rest. I understand they put you in charge of Monica's outfit. Word travels fast around here. Hell, an old man farts and the kids across town complain of it. Need something from me? How are people handling the loss of Monica? I think most are still in shock, but just you wait. That'll pass, and then the panic sets in. Few folks have any real discipline around here. Monica kept them calm by keeping them safe. Now that she's gone, they're gonna start realizing what a heap of misery that this blasted city can be. You don't seem too worried, though. I already died once. Every day since is just a bonus. A tired, painful bonus. Really doesn't matter that much to me, but to the rest, it's gonna be a different story. Monica kept the place in one piece. She read the flux like a bird reads the wind or a fish reads the current. Without her, there's no telling what's going to happen. I'd like to hear a little more about you. Let me guess, you want to know how I lost the legs? If you're offering. Might as well hear it from me than one of the addle-brained kids running around. Lost the legs during the first Euro War, if you must know, in a bombing. Now, you need something else from me? Nope, didn't mean to bother you. I was kind of curious about the orc in the skirt, but... Oh yeah, quick aside, the awakening, that is when magic returned to the world, didn't just change the people, it also changed the world. Places of myth and legend suddenly appearing, the geography changing, amongst other things. Oh, that must have been incredibly confusing. Okay, let's get stocked. Okay. Oh, it actually just stocked them. We're going to take out the cheap kit. put in one of the healing packs. I think if I can't get through with 2 gold trauma kits, then we've got bigger problems. Okay. That seems like a lot of Nuyen. Alright, let's save. And get in the fucking van. Very good. The guy was basically a hobo junkie? Well, I wonder how long he lived. The drive from the Cruise Bazaar to the Seanbuck Forest was a long one. For over 6 hours, you and Glory rode in relative silence, with only the sound of the road for company. Now you find yourself crouching in the woods, watching, waiting. Off in the distance... Off in the distance, the rustic exterior of Firstel looks curiously warm and inviting, but you know what's waiting inside. The anticipation churns at your guts like a living thing. Eventually, a van pulls out of the compound's driveway and rolls out alongside a service road before disappearing from view. Glory gives you a nod and begins to scramble forward. Harrow has left the building. It's time for you to make your way inside. But I thought our goal was to kill Harrow. Why are we going in? No, I've only got 3 karma. I don't have enough to actually use on anything. The weathered edifice of Firstel looms above you, dark and sinister in the chill night air. Despite the horrifying stories that Glory told you about this place, something about it feels strangely comforting. In the back of your mind, insidious voices whisper that you could stay here forever. The awakening broke the world in a traumatic way, arguably with certain parties making sure it was as traumatic as possible. Most nations we know stopped existing entirely between the plague in 2020, the return of magic, and the return of metatypes destroy the old order. Yeah. Do you feel it? The lure of this place? Glory gestures with a limb of chrome and steel. When I was a kid, when I was whole, the pull was irresistible. Yeah, I feel it, but that doesn't change what we have to do. No, it doesn't. She looks at you, and her eyes are dark. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet but steady. You're going to see some terrible things in this place, Cassie. Firstel exists to prey on the young, and we're going to have to come face to face with that. Are you sure that you're prepared for this? When you say the young, how young do you mean? I need to know what we're walking into. Teenagers, mostly. 16 through 18, though there is the rare exception. It's young enough to make me feel uneasy. She nods. Me too. But we're going to put an end to it, one way or another. Strain 2 of Vita's hit in 2020. Not Microsoft Vita again! We can't handle that twice. So I'll ask you again. Are you ready for this? I need an honest answer. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. She studies your face for a moment longer, then looks away. Good. You want to compare notes, make sure that we're both on the same page? She nods. We take Harrow out of commission. You were right when you said that we couldn't afford to let him live. Even if we completely destroyed this place, it'd all be for nothing if he got away. He'd just start another cult somewhere else. Let's see. Any suggestions as to how we should approach it? This is your run. I'm just here to help you see it through. We kill Harrow, yeah, but I think that we should try to save the cultists here too. No, we're not gonna be wishy-washy about this. This is your run, Glory. I'm just here to help you see it through. So what do we do first? We make our way inside and take out the shrine that Harrow uses as his power focus. We can't touch him while that thing is standing, but after we bring it down, he'll be vulnerable. Let's see. No matter what, but Native American magic was able to actually cure it. Well, but yeah, the first Vita strain hit in 2002, killed 2 billion people. Strain 2 killed 10% of the remaining population. That seems not great. 2012, okay. That still seems not great. Let's see. Alright, tell me more about the shrine. It's a lump of rock about as tall as I am, inscribed with runes and encrusted with bone. The shrine's power comes from an entity that Harrow bound into the stone. Something very old and very dangerous. A toxic spirit. In many ways, it is the heart of this place. We can't touch Harrow while the shrine is intact. If we try, he'll siphon in enough power from it to slaughter us where we stand. But if we confront the shrine and kill the spirit, the astral backlash from its death will cripple him. All we'll have to do is finish him off. Alright, I want to hash out a few more details before we head inside. That makes sense? If you have any questions, it'd be best if you ask them now. Alright, so we make our way to the shrine, and then what? Take it out with explosives? Breaking the rock won't work. We'll have to take on the spirit directly, track it to where it lives, and kill it. She pats the satchel that hangs from her shoulder. I brought what we'll need to do that. I can't tell you exactly how this is going to go down, Cassie. The spirit itself will have a good deal of control over that. But you'd better prepare yourself, because I think that this is going to be one hell of a fight. Alright, what about the other cultists? We'll save any that we can, but the energy released when the spirit dies will hurt them too. Anyone whose mind it touched will take a hit. Doesn't that mean the backlash will hit us too? You've only just arrived. The spirit hasn't had a chance to worm its way into your aura yet. You might black out for a minute or two, but otherwise you should be fine. As for me, well, like I said, this place can't touch me anymore. Sounds like this is our best shot then. It is. If the shrine is this important, why didn't you mention it earlier? When I lived here, Harrow barely used the thing. To be honest, I think that he was afraid of it. Back before I ran away, Firstel was nothing more than a cult of personality that revolved around Harrow. He didn't need magical help to keep us here. We loved him, and we believed in his message. He created the shrine as an insurance policy. And you think that something has changed and that he started abusing the shrine's power? She nods. Yes, and I think that my escape was the cause of that change. I know Harrow. When I ran, I bruised his ego. His charisma and charm had failed him, and my disappearance rubbed his nose in that failure. He wouldn't be willing to chance something like that happening again, not when he had the means to prevent it. So the cultists here, they're like puppets? The shrine controls them? Not exactly. It's more insidious than that. Think of the shrine's influence as a drug. It lowers your inhibitions, makes you compliant. If you were to stay here for a couple of days, you'd fall in love with this place, and you wouldn't even know why. All of Harrow's bullshit would start to make sense. You'd be happy. In essence, all of the cultists here are addicted to this place. That makes them a threat, yes, but it also makes them victims. I think I know everything that I need to. Let's get moving. She nods, and the razors flick out of her fingertips. I'm with you. Let's do it. Alright. So we gotta keep Glory safe and get to the shrine. However, it is now a minute to midnight. So I think that this is a very good place to call it for the night. So yeah, I think we're going to call it there, and we will pick this back up next Monday. Tomorrow we are going to be... What the heck are we doing tomorrow? Oh yeah, tomorrow we are continuing with Monster Train. We played a bunch of it last week, and that was pretty fun, so we're gonna do some more of that. There will be no stream on Thursday, because that is my birthday, and I'll be visiting family. So I'll be away for the day. And then on Friday, we should be back for some more Pathfinder. So lots of good stuff coming up. Hope to see you guys there. If you haven't joined the Discord server yet, link is down below the stream. I post all my announcements there, along with my stream schedules and anything else that might happen to come up, as well as any artwork I get. There have been a number of pieces that have gone up in the last few days, so check that out if that's of interest to you. You can also request things. If there are any games you want to see me play, or any redeems you want to see added, or just anything you think would improve the stream, feel free to drop it over in the Discord server. With all of that said, thank you everyone for coming. Very much appreciate having you guys here. I always, I know how much everyone's time is worth, definitely, and I appreciate that you spend that time here with me. So yeah, thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you all have a very good night. Rest well, and see you guys tomorrow for more Monster Train.